This episode of Android Authority is brought to you by Netflix. Head to netflix.com/android to get a free 30-day trial. Hello again, ladies and gentlemen. I am Joe Hendy, the Android Authority app guy, and welcome back to Android Authority Q&A, where you ask and we answer. We have a lot of great questions this week about smartwatch selection, SD card problems, and a lot more, so let's get started. Troy asks, just read an article by Brad Board about accessories for the Galaxy S4. SanDisk Class 10 memory card is recommended. I have a Lexar Class 10 32GB in my Galaxy S4. After about 120 pics, my gallery looks fine, but when I select each pic and bring them up to full screen, about every third pic has a large gray stripe through it that takes up about a third of the pic. I called Lexar, they said the Galaxy S4 needs a Class 6 or lower. I was not able to recover my pics that have the gray stripe. They offered to switch out my Class 10 for the Class 6 card. I'm sorry to say, but I think Lexar is feeding you a line of nonsense. Class 10 SD cards have been perfectly safe to use in Android smartphones as early as the Galaxy S2, so that's obviously not the problem. What I would do is take your SD card out and snap a few photos to get saved to your internal storage. If the gray stripe is still there, then it's a problem with your software or with your camera. If the gray stripe is not there, then it's your SD card probably going bad and I would have it replaced. Ritvik asks, hey Android Authority, I was thinking about buying a smartwatch and there are a couple of choices to pick from. I was waiting for the Samsung Galaxy Gear, but I am not very happy with how that turned out. Should I wait for the iWatch? What do you recommend? Personally, I wouldn't buy a smartwatch until 2015 because that's about when smartwatches will become genuinely useful. If you must have a smartwatch right now, I would recommend the Pebble because the Pebble is cheaper than the competition while still getting that companion device feeling. You can wait for the iWatch, but I don't foresee them adding anything the current smartwatch options don't have. Asil asks, is it still worth it to buy the HTC One? Absolutely. Even though there are devices coming out with the Snapdragon 800, devices with the Snapdragon 600 are still considered perfectly good top-tier options. So if you want to get yourself an HTC One, get yourself an HTC One. It's still a top-of-the-line device. Anthony asks, hey Android Authority, I'm getting the Galaxy Note 3 next week, but I'm thinking about if I should get the Note 3 right now or wait for the Nexus 5 or the next HTC One. You really can't go wrong with any of these devices. The Samsung Galaxy Note 3 will have the bigger screen and the bigger battery, along with an SD card slot. The HTC One will have superior build quality and boom sound, and the Nexus 5 will have the latest version of Android. So what you need to ask yourself is, which feature do you want the most? If you want to be on the bleeding edge of Android, get a Nexus 5. If you want superior build quality and superior sound, get the HTC One. And if you need a bigger battery, an SD card slot, or a bigger screen, then go with the Note 3. Ollie Brader asks, do you know when Android 4.3 will come to the Sony Xperia Z? Unfortunately, there are no rumblings going on right now about when the Xperia Z will get Android 4.3. Fortunately, Sony is much better than other OEMs at updating their Android phones, so we know it'll happen eventually. We can't tell you when because we don't know, but it would be a serious surprise to see Sony not update this device. Once again, I'm Joe Hendy, the Android Authority app guy, and this was Android Authority Q&A, where you ask and we answer. If you have a question for us, follow the link in the video description where you can ask us anything. If you like this video, please subscribe to our YouTube channel and check out some of our other videos. Our social media links and the written companion are in the video description. Thank you for watching and have a wonderful day.